Hello everyone, welcome back to Clusterbmilkshake. I am your host along with support puppet Mr. Chicken. Yes! Today we are going to discuss betrayal trauma. I'm a diagnosed narcissist with antisocial personality disorder, and I took notes from Tim Fletcher's channel because I wanted to know where betrayal trauma stems from, how it's different than a trauma bond, because when I'm in relationships, I also feel betrayed and then I don't trust anybody. So I was like, well, what's wrong with me? And where are these triggers coming from? And it's been messing with me forever. And this came up on my feed, and I was like, oh yes, finally. So I want to bring this information to you as well, so we can fix ourselves, right. Okay, so complex post-traumatic stress disorder in childhood has an essence of betrayal trauma due to being betrayed by those who were supposed to care for you. Okay, and this is why you get trauma bonded easily with your romantic partners as well. Betrayal trauma is the result of a violation of a deep attachment in relationships where there has been abuse or neglect of an individual who depends on that attachment for their safety and well-being. This starts in childhood and it repeats in romantic relationships. The more you trust someone, the more severe the trauma will be if you're betrayed. So even when I start relationships, I'm not putting all of my trust in you, but I'm not looking for, I was going to say I'm not looking for shady shit, but yes, I am. I am looking for shady shit. But as the relationship goes forward, I'm not, I'm relaxing. And this is supposed to be a good thing, right? You're supposed to relax in your relationships and feel and start bonding in a healthy way. And then when a lie or deception, you find that out, it's like shock and awe. We're going to talk about this. So this happens to me as well. So when you watch this, not only think about your perspective on relationships, but think about the toxic partner that you're with and how they might be seeing their relationship with you, okay, through their eyes. All right, there's 5 types of betrayal trauma. Parental, which is abuse, neglect, fails to protect you from harm or fails to meet your needs. There's intimate partner, says that they love you and you can trust them, but abuses you, neglects you, cheats on you, lies to you. Interpersonal, this is when a friend betrays you. God, how could he let this happen, or the spiritual realm, or whatever you believe in. And institutional, this is society, school, church, police officers, the judicial system, okay? This can lead to betrayal blindness. This is when you're wearing rose-colored glasses, you deny and need to stay attached at all costs. I overlook so much shit, dude. I overlook so much stuff because if there is something that I am getting out of the relationship, being a narcissist, I'm going to see if you hold value. So I'm going to let so much garbage go, okay? If I want this. If I'm looking for a way out, I'm getting rid of you early on. I'm looking for a way out. Okay? Sorry about my voice. It's early in the morning. A child may blame and shame themselves. Most common betrayal trauma responses are these are the emotional symptoms: shock and disbelief, anger, rage, and irritability, fear, terror, paranoia, guilt, self-blame, shame, worthlessness, feeling numb and detached, loneliness, feeling violated, emotional dysregulation, mood swings, difficulty regulating emotions, depression, anxiety, apathy, suicide, ideation, alexithymia. This is emotional blindness, challenges recognizing, expressing, and describing one's emotions. So when something, when you are betrayed by someone, it's almost like you're shutting down and you feel like you're falling into a depression, right? And you do not know what the fuck is going on. So you're like massive confusion. And this is when, you feel like, or you are gaslighting yourself, or you're susceptible to being gaslit by somebody else. Also later on, it talks about how if you've been betrayed in the past, how you start critiquing every little fucking thing of new people, and you think that you're being betrayed and gaslit when you're not. Crazy town, I know. Then you have cognitive symptoms. This is flashbacks and nightmares, intrusive thoughts, loss of memory, forgetfulness, deep confusion, can't concentrate, disassociation, second guessing yourself. This is why it's important to always journal. You want to reality test what's happening in your relationships. So having a trusted friend or support group, something where you can, because usually you get isolated, right? And you really need to keep someone in your life, even if your partner don't fucking like it. Too bad. Too bad. Okay? All right. Neglecting beliefs about yourself and you become cynical. The messages that you receive from betrayal. Shame, so you think I'm bad, I'm a burden, nobody's truly there for me, nobody can be trusted, I'm alone. Yes, and even a narcissistic person who is betrayed throughout their childhood, they will shut down, okay? And this is when you're like, oh, let me fix it. Let me change my whole fucking life just to make your narcissistic person borderline feel safe, right? But these things are happening to you too, okay? All right. Physical symptoms, agitation, shaking, sweating, panic attacks, bowel problems, so you're constipated or your diarrhea all over the motherfucker. Take probiotics, please, okay? Insomnia, startled easily, racing heartbeat, aches, pains, muscle tension, inflammation. If you drink a lot, you're going to have inflammation. If you're eating lots of carbs that are not good for you, white flour, all that stuff, you're going to get inflamed too. Just throwing that shit in there. Okay, fatigue, migraines, and headaches. Betrayal symptoms, behavioral symptoms. The whole thing's about betrayal. Okay. Withdrawing, isolating from others, frequently weeping, decrease in self-care and hobbies, decrease in work productivity, eating increases or decreases, increase aggression and reactivity. Now, you'll see that, so if your partner is feeling betrayed outside of the relationship, they can bring this shit home to you, okay? And they can become very agitated, aggressive towards you and the family. And this is them projecting their own shame, or I'm betrayed by my fucking boss or some shit, right? Increase use of social media, unnecessary purchases, use of alcohol, drugs, reckless or self-destructive behaviors. This reminded me of you know, I see this bullshit in movies all the time where a dude, he's having so many inner issues, anger, betrayal, his own fucking deep-seated traumas, and he goes out into bars to create bar fights. He's sabotaging his relationships with friends, family, and then ends up isolating. You know, he just wants to fucking beat up somebody or get beat up. Trigger people to leave them, okay? Relationship symptoms: trouble with intimacy, suspicious of kindness. They think that they're being love bombed, or you think you're being love bombed. I know I'm always talking about myself, but you know, I do have trouble with intimacy as well. Difficulty maintaining relationships or allowing others close, trust issues, jealousy issues, authority issues, conduct disorder or ODD, you know, when you're younger. Resist all boundaries. So you see any boundaries as a lack of loyalty or betrayal. Okay, now there's some things that I'm like, hell to the no. But there's some things that, you know, you want to look at to see if you're overreacting and stuff, you know, because obviously I can be very controlling. Sexual symptoms: aversion to sex. They don't want to have sex at all. Obligatory sex. That's where, I mean, I was like that too in a marriage. It's part of my job. You have sex. Uncomfortable with physical touch. Yes, I would tell my kids, don't even fucking hug me and shit. Can't reach orgasm. Feeling, and that's not the dude's problem. Okay? So dudes, understand this, all right? Let your girls use toys or whatever, you know, they can't, it's not working, all right? Feeling distant during sex. Dissociating, feeling dirty, so you feel shame during sex or right after having sex. Pain in your genital area during sex. Sexual shame or body shame, so you don't feel, you know, you don't look at me, or you wear shirts and stuff when you have sex. You know, the lights always have to be off and shit like that, because you don't feel good about yourself, or you don't want them looking in your eyes and stuff like that. No intimacy connection. Spiritual symptoms: this is anger with the higher power, loss of interest in prayer or meditation, feeling abandoned by that higher power, and you isolate from spiritual support. So you stop going to church and stop reading things that are making you feel better in spirit, okay? Now, healing from betrayal trauma. Acknowledge that this is happening instead of avoiding, or that this did happen. You really need to take note, okay? Take notes, journal about these things that have happened to you. You have to go back into this journal when you start ruminating and missing your person. You're gonna forget the feelings that you had, the bad feelings that you had. And this is almost like, you know, when I'm growing up, being physically hurt is over quickly. I forget about the physical pain and move on. And this is the same thing that happens when you are away from your partner, when you've been psychologically fucked over, and you're going to forget, and you're just going to feel all of these things of loneliness. You're going to blame yourself. Maybe I can, you know, fix my shit, which you should fix the things that are wrong with you. But for you, you know, you're number one. And then if you're still in the relationship, you're going to try to bring your better self forward, but don't let motherfucker be blaming you for everything and gaslighting you for everything. You want to be able to talk through things. And if they're not going to take any responsibility or participate in the relationship in any way, even if they do have all of this trauma going on inside of them, I know that it feels like you're abandoning a child, saying, I got to get the fuck out of here, but you're dying. So you have to get out and save yourself. Pray for him. There's nothing else you can do. You already tried everything. Okay? Don't blindly blame yourself. Have self-compassion. Learn from it. Look back and learn what you could have done differently. This goes for both me and my partners. What could have we done differently? So it's not just, oh, my partners are toxic, which they are, but I love that shit. But, you know, I'm toxic too. So what were things that we both could have done differently? Not to get back together with them, of course, but, you know, see, okay, this is my mistake. Instead of hating myself, which you guys who have been here for a long time have seen me self-loathe all over the fuck myself after my breakup. For adult relationships, what caused you to be attached to them in the first place? And of course, you know, I have massive amounts of videos on this, why you still stay attached to toxic people. This is because of your own childhood trauma, being conditioned to take abuse, and chaos is love, okay? Except to go through the stages of grief. Now, this is the fucking suck part, because I don't want to grieve. I would rather bounce and go and rebound. When I was unaware, it was like, everything's your fault anyways. There's a perfect love out there for me. Or, you know, I'm tired of the criticisms, or you're broken. Now, remember, I don't see that I'm doing anything to you. You're broken with all of your shit, and I'm not dealing with it because I can't fix you. I am not a fixer. So I'll complain, and I'll tell you to fix yourself, but I'm not changing to fix you. Okay. So the stages of grief: shock, anger, depression, confusion. That's why you come to me. Remember, I do one-on-ones, so we can unconfusify your ass. clusterbmilkshake@outlook.com. Shock, anger, depression, confusion, bargaining. You guys come and tell me, you know, all the fucking, oh, well, maybe if coffee is done. Maybe if I do this, that, and the other thing, maybe if they come back to me and they, you know, I'm going to keep lines of communication open, because they may come back and say, oh, I'm going into therapy and I want you to come with me and I want this, that, so I can, you know, keep connected to you. It takes a very long time to self-reflect, learn where these things come from, have guidance, really take, you know, and dealing with your own shit. If somebody's coming to you saying, you know, and you know that they're toxic as hell, and they're coming to you saying, oh yes, let's do counseling and everything, or I'm going to therapy, we will challenge the therapist. We believe that we know more than them. We are going to find something wrong with them, because we do not think that anybody can understand us like we understand ourselves, which we don't understand ourselves. We're also going to blame shift, and we're going to talk about, you know, how everything is your fault and this is why I react and everything. And our inner child will come out and all this shit, and you're going to be the bad guy. Okay? All right. And did I say acceptance? Yeah, that's the end. You know, fucking bow and end, you know, close the curtain on that fucking relationship. Practice accepting and naming your emotions. So when you're feeling when you're feeling sad and depressed or whatever, if you're feeling betrayed, if you're feeling guilty, if you're feeling needy, you know, just say, this is how I am feeling right now. I am feeling it. When you name the emotion, you stop pushing away the emotion. I think I fucking saw this someplace. Say, This, I am feeling this right now. Don't say I am, because you're trying, that's like solidifying that feeling in you. I am feeling sadness right now. This is what I'm feeling. You're naming it. You're saying, get out of the shadows, motherfucker. I fucking see you. And we're going to go through this, process of feeling. We're going to try to stay away from bad coping mechanisms. And then I promise you're not going to have that dread and that, low and my life is over and I just want to end it all type, feeling. But you have to feel your feelings, and it can take months. And do me a favor, don't ruin other people's lives by rebounding, because they may really like you and fall in love with you, and then you're going to be like, I'm not over my ex yet. Well, no shit. You were just using this person to try to get over your ex. So you're not even fully there for this new person, okay? Don't pressure yourself to run to forgiveness. First, validate the pain and grieve. You have to grieve the whole fucking relationship, grieve your childhood, all of that stuff before you can find forgiveness. When you start this, I'm just like, why are people, oh, I did this fucked up thing, I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah. And because you want to be in this relationship because you don't want to grieve, oh, okay, I forgive you. And then they keep doing the same thing over and over again. No. Forgiveness, you earn forgiveness when you show me that you're not doing the shady shit ever again. And maybe I ain't forgiving you until we on the deathbed. Death. Okay? Accept the slow process of rebuilding trust and finding safe people. Know your triggers so you're not jumping to conclusions. If somebody is angry or whatever, and then that's going to trigger a trauma response in you, and you're just going to attack them. If they are busy and neglecting the relationship because they're going through something, instead of you being a support system, you feel like you're being they're pushing you away and everything. And instead of talking to them about it and saying, do you need space? Instead of trying to encroach on them and let me help you. That's a trauma response too. But you could get angry and then throw away the whole relationship, and I've done that too. Then get help through a program, therapist, a support group. Throw me in your toolbox as well. Other videos online are so great with healing, moving forward. Fucking social media is really great. Learning new hobbies, what's some cool hobbies? Fucking Google that shit, And I would go through and look at things that could, am I interested in trying these things or whatever, and take care of yourself. Take care of you. So you are going to go through these things, and it sucks. It's not a good time, but you're going to do it. I hate roller coasters, so think of it as going on a motherfucking roller coaster if you hate it. And I know that I'm gonna have to go through all the flippity flip flop bullshit and scream my ass off until I get to the end, all right? I have to do it. I'm already on the fucker, okay? I have to. And when I look at it like that, it's like, it feels to me more painful not to go through the process. I don't want to ruminate. I do not want to wish that, something might happen and then put my life on hold. I'm not gonna light a fucking white candle and burn his name in my flesh and, do some witchcraft shit. It's not happening. All right. So I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions or shared experiences, share with the class. So everybody knows that they're not alone in this, okay? You're not alone. I've gone through all of this shit too. And have a great day. What do we say? Namaste.